A long time ago, there was a world very different from the one we know today. People lived everywhere, but not everyone was good. In fact, many people were very bad. They didn't listen to God, and they did many things that made God very sad. God saw that the earth was full of wickedness and violence. He saw that people had forgotten how to be kind, loving, and good. This made God very unhappy because he created the world to be a beautiful, peaceful place. But among all the people, there was one man who was different. His name was Noah. Noah was a good man. He loved God and tried his best to live a good and honest life. Noah followed God's teachings and always tried to do the right thing. Because of this, God was pleased with Noah. One day, God decided to speak to Noah. He had a very important message. God said, "Noah, I have seen how wicked the world has become. People are doing many bad things, and they do not listen to me anymore. So, I have decided to send a great flood to wash away all the bad things and start anew. But because you are good and righteous, I want to save you, your family, and two of every kind of animal." Noah listened carefully to God. God told him to build a big boat called an ark. This ark had to be very large because it would need to hold Noah's family and all the different kinds of animals. God gave Noah very specific instructions on how to build the ark. He told Noah how long, how wide, and how tall to make it. He also told Noah to use special wood called gopher wood and to cover the ark with pitch to make it waterproof. Noah trusted God and began to build the ark, just as God had instructed. He worked very hard, and his 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, helped him. It took a long time, but eventually the ark was finished. It was a huge boat, large enough to hold many animals and supplies for the journey ahead. While Noah and his sons were building the ark, people around them were very curious. They asked Noah why he was building such a big boat, especially since there was no water nearby. When Noah told them about the great flood that God had warned him about, they laughed and did not believe him. They continued to live their lives as they always had, ignoring Noah's warnings. Once the ark was ready, God gave Noah another message. He told Noah to gather 2 of every kind of animal, a male and a female, and bring them into the ark. Noah did exactly as God commanded. He gathered the animals, from the tiniest insects to the biggest elephants, and brought them into the ark. There were lions, tigers, bears, birds, reptiles, and many more. God also told Noah to bring enough food for his family and the animals to last for the whole time they would be on the ark. After all the animals and Noah's family were safely inside the ark, God closed the door. Then, something incredible happened. Dark clouds began to fill the sky, and it started to rain. It wasn't just a little rain. It was a heavy downpour that lasted for 40 days and 40 nights. The rain was so strong that it flooded the entire earth. Water covered everything, even the tallest mountains. The people who had laughed at Noah and didn't believe his warning were caught in the flood. Inside the ark, Noah, his family, and the animals were safe. The ark floated on the waters, rising higher and higher as the floodwaters covered the earth. It was a long journey, and they couldn't see anything but water everywhere they looked. But Noah trusted God and believed that they would be safe. Finally, after 40 days and 40 nights, the rain stopped, but there was still water everywhere. The ark continued to float for a long time until it finally came to rest on a mountain called Ararat. Even though the rain had stopped, Noah and his family had to wait for the water to go down. They waited patiently for many more days. Noah wanted to know if the water had gone down enough for them to leave the ark, so he decided to send out a raven. The raven flew back and forth until the waters had dried up from the earth. Then, Noah sent out a dove to see if it could find dry land. The dove flew around but couldn't find a place to rest, so it returned to the ark. Noah waited another 7 days and sent the dove out again. This time, the dove came back with an olive leaf in its beak. This was a sign that the waters were going down and that there were trees and plants growing again. Noah waited another 7 days and sent the dove out one more time. This time, the dove didn't come back, which meant it had found a place to live. God then told Noah that it was safe to leave the ark. Noah, his family, and all the animals came out of the ark. They were very happy to be on dry land again. The first thing Noah did was to build an altar to thank God for keeping them safe. He offered sacrifices to God to show his gratitude. God was pleased with Noah's offering and made a promise. God said that he would never again destroy the earth with a flood. As a sign of this promise, God placed a beautiful rainbow in the sky. He told Noah that whenever they saw a rainbow, it would remind them of his promise to never flood the earth again. Noah and his family began to live their lives again, starting anew in a fresh and clean world. They planted crops, took care of the animals, and praised God for his protection and blessings. The story of Noah's Ark and the Great Flood teaches us about obedience to God. Noah obeyed God's instructions even when it seemed strange and difficult. He built the ark exactly as God commanded, showing us the importance of listening to God and following his guidance. Sometimes, we might not understand why we need to do something, but if we trust and obey God, things will work out for the best. This story highlights the importance of faith and trusting God. Noah had great faith in God. He trusted that God would keep him and his family safe during the flood. This teaches us to have faith in God, even when things seem uncertain or scary. Trusting in God's plan can help us stay strong and hopeful. God protected Noah, his family, and the animals during the flood. This shows us that God watches over us and cares for us. When we are in difficult situations, we can remember that God is always there to protect and guide us. After the flood, God made a promise to Noah that he would never again destroy the earth with a flood. The rainbow was a sign of this promise. This teaches us that God keeps his promises and that we can rely on his word. Whenever we see a rainbow, we can remember God's faithfulness and his love for us. The story of Noah's Ark is also about new beginnings. God gave the world a fresh start after the flood. This reminds us that even when we make mistakes, God gives us second chances to start over and do better. We should always strive to learn from our mistakes and improve. And that is the story of Noah's Ark and the Great Flood. It's a story of obedience, faith, protection, promise, and new beginnings. It shows us how important it is to listen to God, trust him, and be grateful for his blessings. Until next time, remain blessed.